when I mentioned about my crochet blanket, about joining a cal or a mal, I'm going to join, I have joined the Hokalokatelli's autumn knit along. So I'm going to be knitting these socks from her. I downloaded the pattern off of Ravelry. It's cables down the back. I absolutely love the colour of those socks. I'm going to be very good and use the yarn that I have. So these are knitted in a fingering weight yarn. Needles are 2.25 DPNs or circular needles on the magic loop. So I went to Yarndale. We didn't go last year, so it would have been 2018. So this was in my stash. I haven't used it. And this is by Snuggly Stars. She's an independent yarn dyer. This is rhubarb crumble. It's a sparkle glam base, and it's 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon and 5% stellina, which gives it that sparkle. It's a fingering weight, and it's approximately 400 metres. There's 100 grams. So that is just beautiful. So I thought I would have a go, and I'll make those. I haven't done cables on socks before. I'm fairly new to sock knitting as well. I think that was 2018. I've really only just been doing vanilla socks. And then I thought I would have a go at making a hat for myself, and I've chosen the Lotus crown, and this is by Elly Doyle. So this is available on Ravelry. It was £3.50, and that was as of today, which is the 26th of August. And again, I've used a Snuggly Stars yarn. I've had to use a DK, a worsted weight, and this is called Sepia Industry. It's a darling DK base, 100% superwash merino, and it's approximately 225 metres. There's some a pattern in that. I'll see if I can perhaps get a better picture and put that up. So that's my dream knitting that I would like to have a go. As I say, because I've done those 3 big projects, and I've sort of come to the bottom of the mountain, I just feel before I start climbing that, I want to just have a few smaller projects. What else did I buy? Oh, I bought stash enhancement, which is something I don't have any problem with at all. So I bought myself some sock blockers, proper sock blockers. I do have a pair or one that just came off a magazine, so I thought, well, if I'm going to show you a sock, I need to have some proper sock blockers. So I found these on Etsy, and for the life of me, I cannot remember who they're from, but I will put a comment at the bottom of the screen and in the description, so you've got the full details of those. So I've just put my sock on. It's the first, no, not the first, third pattern sock and shorty sock, and this is by Elly Doyle. So I bought this magazine. I've subscribed to the Knitter. So this was, I think, January's edition, and I opened it and just saw those, and I just absolutely loved those socks, and loved the stitch definition on them. I did a big sort of stock take of my yarn at the beginning of the year, realised how much I had, and I thought I needed to work my way through it. But I was so tempted to have those. It's a West Yorkshire Spinners yarn, and the Winwick Mum has done a collaboration with them for some self-striping yarn. So I chose this yarn, which I really like. The colours, that's how much I've got, so I need to weigh that just to see how much I've got left. I have done the other sock as well. I've also done the smaller size. I can knit socks, which is fine. I've only done, I think I've done top down, that's what the phrase I was looking for. Top down, and some with a pattern, and just a heel flap and a gusset. And I think I've done the eye partridge heel on, is it Hermione's Everyday Socks? I think on that. So on the whole, I'm pretty pleased with those. I've never done that pattern before, where you continue to take that stitch up rather than work it in it after like four rows. So that was a new pattern or new stitch that I use. So I really like those. I like the way the pattern was written. I like the way that the style of the socks. So what I decided to do is I don't really follow anybody either. I just see something, I think, oh, that's nice, I'll do that. So I don't get to know really anybody's work either. So I went on, she had 2 free patterns on Ravelry. One of them was a pair of like fingerless gloves, which that's something else I'd like to make. The picture here I've got is not very good quality. On Ravelry it's a lot better, but it's called the Snuggly, I think. And they're like fingerless mittens but go up the arm past the cuff. So I thought, well, I'll have a go at making those. I've got some yarn out, but it's the wrong weight, so I've brought another weight. This pattern, it's used as brown sheep worsted, which I haven't got any of that, so I need to have a look for something for that. And the reason that I was looking for that was because I wanted the mittens to go with the hats. I thought that turquoise would go better. The next enhancement that I would like to share with you, which I'm sure quite a few of you have seen, and it's Mr. and Mrs. Rabbit. And if you are familiar with the Beatrix Potter stories, this is the Jemima sock set named after Jemima Puddle Duck. It's just beautiful. So I cannot wait to make those. I think I'm going to be looking for some sock patterns. The photography on this site of their yarns is just amazing, and I just want to buy it all and knit it all. Obviously I can't, so I'll be looking for a sock. I was watching Jules from So Sweet Violets yesterday, and she was saying that they have been affected by COVID. It's affected her husband's business. He works from home, so she was just relying on her shop income. So I just thought I'd give her a shout out, and if anybody was perhaps looking for a pattern, she does lovely sock pattern. She's done some dishcloths. She's done this really beautiful Snuggly cowl, which I have got the pattern for. For the life of me, I can't put my hand on it, but I want to have a go at that. I've got the yarn for that. So that's obviously, that pattern is in a very, very secret place, and I have a lot of those. So that's something I've bought. This I've bought at the last Yarn Fest, and it's West Green Loft yarn. And this is the classic sock colourway, and it's called Ballet Slippers. Absolutely beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So Lindsay at Stitch Create Love has just designed her very first pattern. She's made a cow, and it's stunning. If any of you see the pictures on Instagram, there's been a few test knitters. Jeanette from Crafty Clegg Creations has made it, and Angela from Mrs. on Farm, she's made it as well. So this is in waiting for this pattern to be released, which is the end of September. They've also got a really beautiful charm, a ballerina charm, which I haven't brought with me, so I apologise for that, but you'll see this in a picture. That Crafty Clegg has, she's made that, and it's beautiful, so I'm just waiting for the pattern for that. I also found another, I think fairly new dial. She's called Italian Yarns. This is, it's hand dyed. It's 75% superwash merino wool, 20% nylon and 5% gold stellina sparkle, and this is the colourway. It's from the Chamber of Secrets mini face for any Harry Potter fans out there. So beautiful, absolutely beautiful. The sparkle on these is just lovely, really, really lovely. So I think I've signed up for her advent. And then I bought this, but this was like my daughter, the one that knits, she's like the biggest encourager ever. I asked what she would like for her birthday, so she wanted some of this yarn from Craft House Magic, and this is the her COVID collection. So again, look at this. Elly is like so super talented. So I don't know what I'll make of that. Quite praying put it in a blanket. So the names are Behind the Mask, I Want to Break Free, You Can't Touch This, Don't Stand Too Close to Me, We'll Meet Again, From a Distance, and Basket Case. I think I've kind of been all of those these last few months. So yes, really lovely. And I also treated myself to a project bag. I've been on a bit of a project bag run really. This is from the lovely Rachel at So Raimi. This is one of her lovely project bags. So I'll find something to fill that with all I'd like to do. Oh, and then the other thing that I bought, and I was giggling so much, and I bought a fair few, so I've really committed myself to making some hats. Everybody's going to get hats for Christmas. But look, I've got that one, and I have that one, and I have that one. They're just so beautiful and so adorable. So these were from a company in Preston, and it's a fake fur pom-pom, and they're so soft. Really, really, really soft. And as Jules says, bunny soft. Have you ever touched a bunny's tail? I imagine that's what it would be like. So sometimes it is good to buy something that's synthetic, really. But yeah, it's quite cute. It's true. It could be like a little pink. So yeah, that's lovely. So yes, so a little bit more. I'm on a yarn diet. I'm trying to use as much of my stash as possible and really think about what I want to make and see like what I have. But it doesn't apply to hand dyed or minis. But that I'm going to have to rein myself in, because I did buy a few. Yorkshire Yarn Fest, I've had this sort of pop-up shop. So I think they had May, might have missed it in June, July, and they've got one, yes, in July, so I bought some. And when I sort of totted up what I bought, I was like, oh dear. But they've got that one this weekend, so I'd like to buy, but I'll kind of do my homework really. And be a bit more, I think, get some patterns. That's what I need to do, I think, is really get some patterns. So maybe I could even have a look and buy some worsted so that I can make those fingerless gloves. That would be a good idea. That's what I need to tell myself. So, sending kisses to you is to all the lovely YouTubers, crafters out there who I have thoroughly enjoyed over the last couple of years. So there's some that I've watched, which I'm sure many of you, if you've watched them, you'll be as delighted as I am when they release a new video. So I've already mentioned So Sweet Violet. I've not watched her from the beginning, but found her, and then I've gone back and had like a binge watch, and she's been lovely, really, really lovely. I love her vlogs, a bit of everything, a bit of knitting, a bit of sewing. She's got a little Etsy shop, she's gardening, I love when she shows us when she goes on her walks with Mabel. I love Mabel. She was having a D-stash recently and asked her if I could have Mabel. She said no. But I think my Jack's Russells would have something to say about that. I brought another dog in. I think my husband would as well. I also like Sandy by the Lakeside. I just like her aesthetics. I love the bags that she makes. I'd really like one of those little leather I don't like pencil cases, notions, they just look really, really lovely. I like the way that she sort of lives her life, family life. It's very easy to watch, so she's worth going and having a visit. I also like Sheep and Cheerful, lovely, lovely podcast, super talented lady. She does all sorts of things. She's knitting, she's weaving. Her weaving is amazing. She's into dressmaking, so she's been doing some of that. Very talented musically. Her and her daughter, when lockdown was sort of in full force, would give us a song from one of the musicals. She has two beautiful Springer Spaniels, Henry and might be Holly. But beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And it's so funny when Henry wants to sit on her lap. So she's well worth going along and having a look. She also does a good book review as well at the end of the podcast. She's got a very eclectic taste, a bit similar to mine, I think. I don't just like one genre, I'm sort of dipping in and out. And So Amy, up in Scotland. Oh, she's lovely, really, really lovely. She's got a little Etsy shop, so I just, bought a bag of her. Bought a few other things as well, little charms and some badges and pins and things. Really talented lady. She's been showing us like some of her journaling, and that's been quite inspiring to see what she tracks. So one of the things that I'm kind of copying from you, Rachel, is water intake. And I have really been thinking about that, and the one thing I found, if I put it in a bottle and I take it with me, then I will drink more, and I'm up to about 3 of these a day at the moment, which is huge for me. I was going through a period where I was suffering a lot of headaches, and that's made a huge difference. I don't know if you are exactly the same, like you get involved with something and you want to have a drink, and you think, oh, just finish this, just 5 minutes, and another hour's gone and you haven't had a drink. So yeah, I've taken that on board from Rachel. Another YouTuber that I found, and I found her recently. I've been watching Rachel for about a year, and Crafty Clegg. Do you know Crafty Clegg's? I've only just found her in the last 3 months, so I've been watched on her. So that's been lovely, and she is lovely, but she leads me down the rabbit hole. She really does. She showed a book. She'd been to her daughter's earlier this year, must have been before lockdown, and been to Froome, and she's been in this shop, and she just showed you this beautiful book, dishcloths. The photography, you wouldn't think you get so excited about a dishcloth, but the photography was just amazing, and really, really like that. So I've ordered that. She also shows another, she makes a lot of like dolls, like toys, arigurumi. Said it. It's funny how you choose something where you can say shapies and amigurumi. So they're lovely podcasts to watch. So I would recommend those. And if you've got anything to share as well, just let me know. It's always nice to meet somebody that is new to you, or somebody that's starting off. I was so lucky when I found Lindsay at So Create Love. Found her first one, and I was just like, oh, she's just lovely, and it's just having something different. So I don't tend to watch much TV. I watch it with my husband, or I'll sit and knit, and he'll watch something else. So that's like, I'll go and sit and make myself a cup of tea, put a podcast on, get my knitting out on the crochet. I'm quite happy. I could do this lockdown for a long time, in the sense of, as long as when I wanted to go out, I could go out and go and see my mum. I'm not even sure, I might give her a hug tomorrow. We saw her. Yeah, I'll leave that there. Right. Chit chat. I feel a lot more relaxed this time, and I hope that that comes across. I can't thank you for watching me, for giving me such positive comments. I say I'm not somebody that has to be first, has to be the best. I think I very much underestimates myself as to my abilities. I never want to push myself forward, but it's been lovely just to receive, you know, just these lovely warm comments. And with crafting, that's what people are about. We're always trying to encourage somebody else. We always praise each other, and quite easily, and we share in what somebody is making. So just thank you. I think that I have thanked everybody on social media, on my YouTube, on the Instagram. If I have left anybody out, please just message me, because I would hate for anybody to think that I just ignored them. I wouldn't. It's my inability with technology. My husband did all the editing last time, and it just took forever. And I went through and he was still editing, and I said to him, "Oh, lovey," I said, "You see my face." He was like, "No," he put his head in his hands. He's like, "I'm just sick of editing." But we learned there's obviously a skill to editing which we didn't have. But he's been marvellous, so he's edited it, and it's gone up and it's lovely. So how are you doing? We're still in like COVID. I don't know about you guys, but I'm just a bit confused as to what I can do, what I can't do. I'm quite happy inside. I say I'm really looking forward to going to see my mum tomorrow, and that'll be lovely. And I do think I'm going to give her a hug tomorrow, probably with my mask on. We've been twice, I think, during this time, like when we've been allowed to go. She lives in Wigan, so they're on lockdown. And I went to see her. I went to see her the Friday before lockdown, so that that was like 20th of March, something like that. And I didn't hug her, even though we had already been indoors for about 11 days, because she's in her 70s, and my stepdad isn't in the best health. I just wouldn't want to take a chance. But I tell you what, I've really regretted not hugging her. But then I keep saying to myself, no, think it was a safe thing to do. So she might get a hug tomorrow, so I'm really looking forward to seeing her. So I just want to wrap this up quite quickly, because I don't want it to go on and on if you all go, oh, I've had enough of her. I just wanted to say, and it's funny when about a project that I showed you last time, and it was a finished object. I'm still not selling it yet. It's been put away. So this is what I knit. This is what I knitted. This is the zigzag scarf. I always get the name of that wrong. My daughter, as I mentioned, my daughter was doing it, and so she's made it. Well, that's how much she's done. She's got a baby, so I'll just stitches them. Don't tell them. Right, they're all back on. So she's making it. So she didn't want to have as many stitches on hers, like width-wise. She didn't want it as wide, but she brought it a couple of weeks ago. That's mine, and that's hers. Now I think she's using a 2.75 needle, and I think I must have used a 3.25. I cannot believe the difference, but that does look really tight. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I really like hers. She really likes mine, so maybe when she's finished we might even do a swap. But what a difference to do the same pattern but different needles, and obviously slightly different tension. So that was quite interesting. So what I've been up to since I saw you last, I have a daughter to come and stay, my eldest daughter without the baby, or a husband. Very lucky, we're very, very lucky. My husband is lovely, really lovely, and he's been a great addition to our family. Looks after my daughter, looks after their son, but it was such a treat to just have her to myself and my husband. So we had a meal together, which was lovely. She's in our bubble, so we're allowed to do that, and just to hang out and chat and to do a bit of knitting, and it was just lovely. And instead of ordering a takeaway, which I probably would have done, I didn't. I'd got a magazine. I bought this magazine. It's not something that I would normally buy, but I just, for some reason, I think it was just that picture. I just really like that picture. So I bought that, and there, I was just sort of flicking through. There's lots of things in there that I liked, but they had, I've got to find it now, I should have marked it, sorry. They had like a tapas, yeah, they had a tapas menu. So I made that. There's me saying the other week that, you know, I'm not really into doing like dinners and things, but that was just absolutely beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And we thoroughly enjoyed that. There was baked peppers, spicy prawns. There was like a bruschetta cream cheese, and a tapenade garlic mushrooms, potatoes, the like Spanish potatoes. Oh, and courgette fritters, but you could do them in the oven. And we have an Arga. So last time I spoke to you, it was about 29 degrees in our kitchen. So that was one of the reasons that I had the windows open, and you could also hear the dog. So I do apologise. So that at the moment they're in the downstairs cloakroom, and they're not allowed out. Yes, really enjoyed this. Look at this advert. I was just literally drooling over that. I could just have that in the garden. Go sit down there, cup of tea, do a bit of sewing, a bit of knitting. Oh, it was lovely. Husband and I were like looking at this. He said, "Oh, they do too. They can join them on his and hers." I said, "Oh, £70,000. They have like kitchen and everything, wardrobes, I think." I was like, "Oh, but that was lovely." And what else was there? But yeah, oh, I'm going to make these this weekend. Raspberry cream lamingtons. They're evidently an Australian favourite. A bit like, I think it's like, is it a Madeleine? So I'm going to have a go at those. But you have to, you make the sponge and soak it, and then it has to go in the fridge overnight, and then add jam and the coconut. Yeah, that was delicious. What else? We went blackberry picking. Took the dogs, and we went and picked some apples off the apple tree as well when we came back, and we made this a coconut and blackberry loaf cake. I used to buy Delicious magazine for years, and then I just stopped. But that really appealed to me, and it was lovely. Blackberry and coconut, beautiful. And then what else? Oh, I just wanted to give the Yorkshire Yarn Fest a bit of a plug. Have a look on Instagram. They've got all these lovely people. Some of them I haven't heard of, but they are really lovely. So I might like pick one or two, maybe a pattern to have a look for my indie yarns. And I just wanted to give you a recommendation of a book. The one I mentioned last time may perhaps been a bit heavy. I do have like a varied taste. So this is one that I read earlier this year. I think I read this sort of just after Christmas. I think it was a Christmas present, and it's Becoming by Michelle Obhama. Really interesting. I didn't know much about. I didn't know anything. I don't think about her or Barack. Really interesting as to their journey towards the White House. Obviously, more detail for her, but the moment when she talks about meeting Barack for the first time, and he comes into her office. She was already a lawyer. I think he was. I think he was on like a placement, and just like when she saw him, and we've actually got the audio book of this as well. We've been listening to this in the car. She is a voice for audio is really good, very well spoken, and a great orator. Yeah. So and for a black lady, just beautiful, absolutely beautiful person, and her outlook on life, and coming from her family, what she'd learned, what she's carried through, what she's passing on to her daughters. Yeah, really lovely. So if you like an autobiography, that's well worth having a look at. I mentioned that we've been watching Man on the High Castle. We finished it. We did enjoy it. There was a lady that left me a comment which was really interesting. Don't get me wrong, it's a period of history that we do find interesting. We're always wanting to educate ourselves. I find history, really interesting. And the book tied in really well. I was reading that and watching that. I'd like to know if anybody else had watched Man in High Castle, what they thought of the last episode, because that would be interesting to have that kind of discussion. So we kind of moved on, and we're now on Outlander, which probably everybody in the world has watched Outlander. So I think we've just watched the first series, and yes, we are enjoying it. We've not watched it for the last couple of nights. We tend to, I think like a lot of people, you'll have like a bit of a binge watch and then you'll leave it for a bit. And we've also watched a couple of documentaries. We watched Margaret Atwood, a really good documentary about her. And I've just finished Handmaid's Tale. I had read it before, I'd studied it at A-level, so I just reread it. And we'd also watched I think the first series on Netflix, so very good, really good. What else? Oh, I was saying to you about Lindsay's stitch marker. They're just beautiful. This one I ordered from Lindsay for my daughter. Lindsay did a collection. She doesn't do like standard stitch markers. They are like different. I think she used to do jewellery as a previous class. And you can tell by the quality of those. But she, I think they were called Perfect. This was called the Perfect Day, this collection. She did a collection on like for her wedding day, like the colours, and I just bought that for my daughter because it was her wedding anniversary, the end of July, and yeah, it was a perfect day, so this was a perfect present. So what I've been doing, I've met up with my girls a couple of times, which I can't tell you how lovely that's been, that we've just been in the same vicinity. I feel like I've swapped one daughter for the other. My eldest is now in my bubble, my youngest is kind of keep away, like 2 meters with boys, which is really hard. You think, okay, yeah, I can do this, and then you meet them a couple of times, you're like, oh, I'll give anything just for a hug. But we've had a couple of times in the park, had a lovely picnic, oh my word. I think we met about 10 o'clock, 9:30. The day was just beautiful. It wasn't too hot, but it was, it'd been raining the previous days, but it was just comfortable. Can't stand the heat, and it was just lovely. The boys were just so entertaining, and we were just laughing and just being together. I think we'd eaten a picnic by 11:10. We couldn't wait. So that was really lovely. Having Laura to stay. I also had my nails done. I had them done previously, or just before my first episode, and I meant to say, but I think it was deleted in the editing. We like cut a load of stuff out. I was sick of seeing my face. So yeah, I went and had my nails done, and this isn't a need, it is a want. I spoke to my husband because I've still got to be careful with him, he's diabetic. But I said I really would like to go and have my nails done. Would that be alright? I said I'll be careful, wear a mask and everything. And the girl I go to, it's just her own business, and I was worried about how she would be because they've been in lockdown for so long. And he was like, yeah, go. And I went, and it was lovely. And you know what? I just kept looking at my nails afterwards, and just for me as a woman, it's I might not be happy with some other bits of my body, but just see my painted nails, I was like, oh, it feels so good. And I was so happy to go and see Becky, and to give her some business as well. I was really worried, but fortunately they have been okay, and I hope that continues. I also did some material shopping, so that was nice. So I've got a little bit there again, local guy. So I don't think I've been at all this year. No, I don't think so. So it was good to be able to give him some business. So what about you guys? Like, what have you been doing? Have you been able to see your families? Have you, are you still crafting? How is like your mindset? Mine has been, I would say I'm a fairly positive person, fairly happy person. I'm happy in my own company. It's just husband and I, we're kind of empty nesters, I suppose, now. But just to be with the girls. We don't see our son very much because he lives in Hampshire, he lives so far away from us, so he can't just pop in like for a cup of tea. But they were here at the weekend and we had a meal and it was just lovely. We were all like distanced. One person would go up with some food and another person, and yeah, it was just simple pleasures, and just to light a birthday cake and just to sing that. You can't see anybody because it's just a cake because we're all so far away, but at least it was a start. So that was nice to have that. And I think that's it. I hope this podcast finds you all well. I hope it finds you safe. I really do. And I'm hoping that when I do my next one, I think I'm going to do another one then, that you will be okay. It'd be nice to hear from you. It'd be nice to find out where you live. As I say, I'm a southerner in the north of England, and I'm quite happy to be living up here. I've lived up here for about 20 years. So if you like my video, if you give me a thumbs up, and it would be even better to subscribe to me. I think I'm doing really well actually. Last time I looked, it was about 300. I was like, oh my word, I can't believe that many people would sit and watch me. So yeah, I'm absolutely delighted, and I hope that I've got a varied content. Something for